West Midlands and down towards the southwest. Here we are prone to seeing some pretty hefty showers to take us through the late afternoon and into the evening. Many spots avoiding those and staying dry. A few showers continue through the night. Most places will be dry with some areas of cloud and a bit of mist around as well, and temperatures between 10 and 16 degrees. So tomorrow morning then, there could be a few mist patches if you're out and about early, a fair amount of cloud, but that cloud should break up to reveal some spells of sunshine. However, once again, we are looking at some showers developing. Now, rain is probably good news for some with some very dry conditions out there, but this rain will not be reliable. It'll be very hit and miss. If the showers do turn up where you are, though, particularly across northwest England and then into Wales, the West Midlands and towards the south coast, they could be very heavy with hail and thunder, very slow moving as well with light winds, so there could be enough rain to cause a little bit of disruption. But most places will stay dry and avoid the showers, and in the sunshine it will feel warm. Plenty more warm sunshine to come on Saturday, particularly across England and Wales, also eastern Scotland. Not as many showers at this stage, could be the odd one towards the southeast. Always more cloud for the northwest of Scotland and Northern Ireland, the odd spot of rain, and a cooler feel here because frontal systems will be trying to push in across the northwest of the country, not making much progress associated with this area of low pressure. But ahead of these frontal systems, we're going to be drawing some very, very warm air indeed across central and eastern parts of the UK. In fact, in the sunshine on Sunday down towards the southeast, it's going to feel really quite hot and quite humid. Could get to 30 or 31 degrees. Could be pretty humid for the men's singles final at Wimbledon. But Northern Ireland and Scotland a little cooler, as you can see. Some clouds, some splashes of rain at times. 22 degrees for Glasgow and Edinburgh, but all the way up to 30 in the sunshine in London. So for the weekend, lots of hot sunshine around, a few showers as well. Cool and sometimes damp in the northwest. All right, take a breath.
That quiet, calm year we wanted, Christian, it's not going to happen, right?
Exactly that.
And there is already full-on drama in the White House.
Long time today, and there were all sorts of rumours circulating.
These links to Russia are what hangs over this presidency.
Jean-Claude Juncker saying today, don't believe that Brexit isn't going to happen. I don't think the UK is going to change its mind.
So interesting. A year of Trump gives us, of course, a lot to discuss.
Beyond 100 Days, helping you make sense of it all. Monday to Thursdays at 7 on the BBC News Channel.
This is BBC News. I'm Martine Croxall. The headlines at 3. Touchdown for Trump. The US president has just arrived in central London for his first visit here since taking office. Across the UK, extra security has been put in place as demonstrations are expected in protest at the president's visit. We'll be live in London and at Blenheim Palace as the president's working visit gets underway. The other main stories this afternoon. The new Brexit secretary, Dominic Raab, says the government has tried to come up with a bold, innovative and pragmatic approach as it publishes its long-awaited Brexit white paper.
People have to wait and read the detail in the white paper, and I think it strikes the right balance. It's innovative, it's ambitious, it is pragmatic, but we're looking for that win-win with the UK and our European friends.
And England fans don't look back in anger as 26.5 million people watch the Three Lions World Cup semi-final defeat to Croatia. Good afternoon and welcome to BBC News. Donald Trump has arrived in London for his first visit as President of the United States. His visit comes straight off the back of what was a fractious NATO summit in Brussels, at which the President has been pushing European allies to increase defence spending. Tonight, the Prime Minister hosts a dinner for Mr Trump and his wife Melania and tomorrow he'll meet the Queen. My colleague Anita McVeigh is in Regent's Park in central London now.
Thank you. Yes, President Trump's visit to the UK bookended by that NATO summit in Brussels, and of course in a few days' time his meeting with President Putin in Helsinki. So what can he expect here, and what can the UK expect from him? Well, he is going to get those protests. You mentioned that already. But the locations where he'll be pretty much insulated from any of those sights or sounds. He is hoping that the images that the audience back home in the States will see are the ones of him going to Blenheim Palace with a military ceremony, the birthplace of his hero, one of his heroes, Sir Winston Churchill. He's hoping that the audiences back home will see the image of him having tea with the Queen. In terms of the optics, those will all be really good for him. Then on to what the UK can expect from this. Well, I guess the big thing on the agenda for the UK government is perhaps some progress towards a bilateral trade agreement post-Brexit. Really, that's what the UK wants to secure from its relationship with the US, and the UK Prime Minister Theresa May will be very much trying to shape and reframe the US-UK relationship as we head towards Brexit here in the UK next year, and indeed post-Brexit. So the President arrived at Stansted Airport in Essex, north of here, a short while ago, was brought very quickly by the Marine One helicopter to the home of the US Ambassador to the UK, Woody Johnson. That's just behind me. You might be able to see a glimpse of the security cordon that's in place, part of the huge policing operation that's going on for this visit by the President to the UK. So let's just take an overview of the day so far. This report is from Richard Galpin.
More than 18 months after becoming president, Donald Trump flew into Britain this afternoon for what's been described as a working, not a state visit. The preparations have included massive security measures costing millions of pounds. This is Regent's Park, where he'll spend the night in the US Ambassador's residence. An opinion poll on the eve of this visit showed 50% disagreed with him coming here. And already, following a fractious NATO meeting in Brussels this morning, the US President has stirred up controversy here, wading into the vexed Brexit debate and whether the government's new approach was what people had voted for.
I would say that, Brexit is Brexit. It's not like, I guess when you use the term hard Brexit, I assume that's what you mean. The people voted to break it up. So I would imagine that's what they'll do, but maybe they're taking a little bit of a different route. So I don't know if that's what they voted for. I just want the people to be happy.
He's also claiming his tough line with other NATO members about meeting military spending commitments has worked.
For years, presidents have been coming to these meetings and talked about the expense, the tremendous expense for the United States, and tremendous progress has been made. Everyone's agreed to substantially up their commitment. They're going to up it at levels that they've never thought of before.
Back here, activists opposed to his policies are getting ready to stage demonstrations in different parts of the country. In London, there'll also be this blimp with an image of Trump as a baby floating over Westminster. Protest leaders accuse him of immaturity as well as racism and bigotry.
When racists and extreme right-wingers are on the march, you don't sit back, you don't just sit there hoping it will all go away. You take to the streets, you mobilise, and you fight back. We hope it will put pressure on the government, that they will see, the moral leadership that they're failing to provide is out there on the streets instead.
But his itinerary, including a dinner this evening with senior ministers and business leaders here at Blenheim Palace in Oxfordshire, ensures he'll be kept away from protesters. The government hopes the talks here and at Chequers tomorrow will bolster relations. Mr. Trump's supporters are confident.
I think Donald Trump will have wonderful and fruitful conversations with the Prime Minister, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's president or who's Prime Minister. The long-standing relationship between our two countries will endure. It has endured for centuries and will do so for time to come.
And yet, this is likely to be a very fraught visit, with thousands of people gearing up to protest and irritation at government level about Mr. Trump's comments on Brexit before he even arrived here. Richard Galpin, BBC News.
Let's talk some more about what lies ahead then over the next few days. Joining me here at Regent's Park in central London are Dr. Leslie Vinjamuri, head of the US and Americas programme at Chatham House, and Dr. Mark Shanahan, an expert in international relations and American politics at the University of Reading. Thanks still for being with us here on BBC News. There was just a clip in Richard's package from the chair of the Republicans Abroad group saying the long-standing relationship between the US and the UK, well, it doesn't matter so much who the incumbents are. But, you know, I guess we could argue that it matters a lot, actually, because we find ourselves in the situation that we're in with international politics as it is. And you know, Theresa May is going to have a challenging discussion with Donald Trump, isn't she, Leslie?
She is. She's planning to talk about trade, as we know. She's going to talk about Russia, very difficult issue, especially with a president who has been so committed to fostering a personal relationship between himself and President Putin. He's heading there shortly after he leaves the UK, after he golfs.